who's keeping me company? We're doing a little cardio as we get ready for this next movie. I'll start there. We've talked about this numerous times. The great thing about cardio for me is that cardio with a small amount of cardio, it will get me absolutely peeled still. And the reason why that is because I don't use all the options that are available to me to be ripped. And because I don't use those options all the time, the body's never adapted to everything. Now, it does adapt at that end of the diet and me pushing it to the limit in that 12 weeks. And that's the great thing about that the golden era. It's so cool. There's so much information that the golden era already discovered way before the science-based lifters and everything, that 8 to 12 weeks, it's a good amount of time to push it to the limit. And just during those times, do the very best you can. If you want to hit 100%, go off for 12 weeks. The deficit, the 2 workouts maybe. During that time, because you're in a deficit and you're training so much, maybe overtrain the abs a little bit just to try to tighten it up, overtrain the abs. Use the cardio. If you want to do that hour, most of the guys all talk about it. There's an hour in the morning, an hour at night, and you push the limits for those 12 weeks and then stop. And again, those guys figured that out back in the day with their amazing physiques and the healthiness. That's, I think, for me, it's not just the amazing physiques. And I know that that's what a lot of people get stuck on. Oh, they look great. They know what to do. But what happens if you just say that for everybody? It's a blanket statement to everybody that's in shape. Well, not everybody got in shape in a healthy way or stayed in shape for decades in a healthy way. Maybe they went extreme. Maybe they went low carbs all year and they messed up their metabolism and their body. Maybe they did cardio all year long. And so again, they used up the options and destroyed their body and got so much mileage that it's, again, at a moment, they looked incredible. So you assume they're doing it right. Doesn't mean it. That I don't think I need to say. I think you guys already, every single person out there, if you don't think that's true, wow. You're going through this world only seeing what you want to see. There's enough fitness people, even outside of the fitness world. There's enough people that were in shape for a moment. And by the way they got in shape and stayed in shape for decades, destroyed their body. So by the time they got to their 40s and 50s, their bodies were so broken. Now, to me, I don't think that's intelligent. I fully understand wanting to push it when you're young. And the mindset when you're young is hard to hold back. It's you're a stallion. You want to just go. I get that. But I just go back to, you got to train smart. And you got to train smart to look the best you can as you are young, but know enough that you understand, or we hope, that we all have that longer life to where you get to enjoy the body throughout your years. And I talked to Jimmy Menace the other day, and there was one thing I wanted to get, and I'll go back and revisit this with him. One of the questions I had is, how is he able to go back and do what he's going to do? Jimmy Menace is a pro bodybuilder. He's getting ready for now the Masters Olympia. He's going to be 60. My point was saying, how are you able to do this? Is because of the fact that he did train smart. Because he didn't destroy his body as a teenager or in his 20s. And now, as he's closing in on 60, he's able to get back in that kind of great shape and step on the Mr. Olympia Masters stage. Now, I hope that for everybody. Not the Mr. Olympia Masters stage, but the stage of life that you can get out there and you can tussle and look great and be happy with it. But also, I was talking to some of my guys who are in town, and it's cool because well, learn my lesson. If you're going to do these lives, do it with the camera, not your phone. All right, back to it. So the whole point of that whole discussion was the fact of when you are your teens and 20s, try to train smart. And again, that is a mental statement because I know how we are when we're 20 and 30 and how aggressive we are, how much we want to be champions. And there's maybe for a lot of you, like me, if I train harder than everybody else, lift more weight than everybody else, diet better than everybody else, I'll be better than everybody else. It don't work that way. Wish it did, because the people with the most effort and desire would win every single time. Life's not that way. You can do your very best. You can diet like a madman. You can train harder than anybody. You can lift tremendous amount of weight and look just decent. So there's other factors. We all know this. There's other factors. And we talked about this a lot. There's guys that are walking around that don't train, that don't eat, and they eat at McDonald's, and they look like they could be on stage tomorrow. And then there's guys that gas up, train 6 days a week, eat great nutrition, and look like shit. And that's the reality of life. So that's why I guess at some point you got to step back. And I was asked today, guy asked me, hey, I want to like to get your point of view on what body parts I need to work on. Stay with me on this one, because this is something I discovered early in my career. And I said, yeah, no sweat. I'll let you know. Give me some time to look at the physique and everything, and I'll get back to you. And I said, what category are you competing in? And he said, well, done physique. And this is a good size guy too. Tall, good size. Great shape. I'd say 6'4". And he says, but I would like to do classic. And I go, okay. You got to make that decision on what you're going to do, first off. And don't make that decision off of criterias or anything like that. Make that decision off of what you want your body to look like. Do you want to have sleek legs? Well, then cool. And you want to do classic? Cool. You may not win, but at least you're doing it and looking the way you want to look. And I think that's a lost. At some point that was, and I don't want to say it's lost, because most people never do that. They get into bodybuilding and they keep trying to Create the physique that will win the show, that will appease the 9 judges, which might be the dumbest thing for anybody that's doing an art show like bodybuilding. Art show, everybody weightlifts, so don't do the athletic thing. Everybody weightlifts. You know, the lawyer weightlifts. It's not a pro bodybuilder. It's an art show. You're creating a physique that looks like apples and oranges on stage, and 9 judges say, I like this better than that. So the point of this is you shouldn't, in my opinion, ever worry about the judges. Never worry about the concept of winning the show. Always worry about you creating the best physique you possibly can that you like. I don't care if anybody else doesn't like it. You know, that's the bottom line. You may not like somebody's physique on the pro stage, and that pro may go, I love my physique better than everybody else. He's won. In my opinion, in life, he's won. Because art should be first and foremost your appreciation, what it touches you, what it does to your heart, and how you want to look on stage. Especially bodybuilding, because bodybuilding can really damage you, could really mess you up. So just to this kid, I said, you got to make that decision and then create the physique that you want. And I learned early in my career, 2021, I already knew what kind of body I wanted, what I wanted to develop, and what I didn't want to look like. You know, is one of the main things. I always wanted to look athletic, that I can move, I could tussle. And that was the great thing about gladiators and those kind of shows and doing martial arts, is that I could move, and I could be athletic, and I could tussle. And so I had a physique that I liked. And that's one of the main reasons I continue to this day, over 40 years later, of training and creating a physique that I like for me. So my recommendation to everybody out there that you're in the health and fitness world, if you decide that you want to go down that path, create the physique you want. Win, lose, or draw. You're going to get off stage and be happy. I can tell you names of people that I've sat down with over decades, and they didn't win the shows. And they say to me, man, I gave those judges everything I could. I did this, I changed that, I get this, and I got this placing. They suck. I hate this. I don't like feeling like I do. I don't like looking like I do. And I'm like, to all these people that said that, I'm like, this can't be about that. There's guys that never won the biggest shows that made their names out there. If that's your goal, the fame and money, again, not smart. It's got to come from the passion of loving the physique that you want to create and that you love working out. Tonight is the red carpet. And the one cool thing about going to see this movie and seeing me up there was the conversations. It's great that there's a movie and I'm in it. It's great. But it was the conversations I had with a true artist who broke down, because he prepared for this movie for a couple of years. And listening to his aspect of bodybuilders and how they look and how they train and how they are in the gym, really it was an amazing thing to me to see and listen to, because he had points of view on bodybuilding that I've never heard any of the Mr. Olympias talk about, or any competitor ever. No universe guy talked to me like this. Closest one ever was like Arnold, and some of the point of views he had on his beliefs of what bodybuilding was. So those kind of conversations are what I remember most about doing this movie. And I just go back to that, creating a physique that you like first and foremost is the most important thing. Don't get sucked into a title will make you money. You make the money. I don't need to list the names of people that you do know and then I ask you a certain year on the Mr. USA or something, and you'll have no idea who won it. So it's not about winning shows. It's not about even getting on stage anymore. You can create something, a beautiful physique for you, and I'll guarantee you'll get more reaction from society because they'll see the love that you have for the art piece that you created for you. Now everybody's, well, that's art. It's an inner thing. It has nothing to do with outside. It's purely inner. And that's what bodybuilding, I think, should be about. It should be about you creating this statue. It reminds me of the Greek gods and the beautifulness of that. And it makes you feel different. It makes you happier. It makes you want to go to the gym and keep creating this. You get that outside, you need the outside appreciation to your physique. Holy sheesh. It's not going to be what you want, my friends. And on that note, I'll hit you back here in a bit.